Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a great night. This is going to be one of my shorter live streams. We are going to close the list in, I don't know, the next 45 minutes or so, probably. I just can't be on super long tonight. Would love to keep it around like 2 hours. Lately, it's been like 3 or more. So that is the plan. Sweeter, I'm doing well, thank you. I went ahead and added you to the donation list because I saw that you donated. Make sure that you guys are getting your donations in early for tonight. Hey, Maston. Hey, Jazz. Hello, Nisha. Oh, I guess I can take that banner off the screen. All right, let's take a look at our questions tonight. Amy, I have a yes. Queen of Swords. Oh, that was loud. Sorry. Afsane. Hey, Afsane, I do not answer like law questions. I will go ahead and pull a card for you for this, but I want to let you know that I only answer this purely spiritually and entertainment purposes wise. So just take a look at my disclaimer before you ask questions like this again. I am getting a no. I have the Death card and the Five of Pentacles, Afsane. Nisha. Nisha, yes. Two of Cups. Supporting sisters. Yes, the Justice card. Ajas. No, Knight of Swords. Sweeter. Getting a maybe. I don't have a yes for you, Sweeter. I have the Seven of Swords. And the first maybe, what card was that? Was the Fool. I'm not sure, Sweeter. Maston, yes. King of Wands. Margaret. I'm getting a no, Margaret. Five of Pentacles. You're welcome, IJ. I was having a lot of like technical difficulties, IJ, last night. So it's like every time I would like leave a message for you, once it would send, it would show that it didn't go through. So then I found myself like repeating myself a lot and sending way more voice clips than I ever wanted to in the first place. So sorry about that. But you're welcome. Yeah, how's Florida looking? Where I am in Virginia, it's okay. We did have a rainstorm last night. But it wasn't too bad at all. There's like some branches down. Everywhere there's branches down, but it's not anything crazy. IJ, I have a yes. The world is. Oh, there's something going on with Apple. Oh, interesting. Well, that's what I have is an Apple phone, so that would make sense. I thought it was the app I was using. I thought it was Instagram, but you're welcome, Afsane. So damage in the city, but nothing crazy. So happy to hear that. Is my teammate Tiffany a good person? Yes, 8 of Wands. I know my bestie in Southern Ohio has a power outage, and my other bestie in North Carolina is experiencing a power outage and a bit of flooding. She's okay. That's good. I don't have much information on the hurricane lately. I was tracking it before it made landfall, but I saw the path that it was going. I haven't looked into it in the last day. It's making me really sad to see, though, that there's been some deaths due to this, which is very unfortunate. Bria Chantel. I have a yes. Queen of Pentacles, Bria. You guys, I made some potato soup for dinner. It's so good. It's so freaking good. I haven't had a chance to eat any. I was making it up until the live stream started, so I'm kind of like eating right now, but it's delicious. Something about soup today just sounded so good. But I've also been craving wings, like homemade wings, which I never made before, but I'm probably going to make soon. It's so good. And I don't know why, but every time I go to the store to get chives, which is like twice a year, they never have chives. It's so weird. And I want like fresh chives. So in the spring, I'm probably going to have to grow my own. But in the meantime, I have these dried herbs. I have these dried chives. So I did that. I fried up some bacon, shredded some cheese. It's delicious. Wish I could share it with you guys. I wish I liked mushroom texture. Like, I like the flavor of mushroom. I just can't with the texture. IJ, you'll have to put me on because I've never made homemade wings before, so I could use all the advice. Doesn't wings just sound so good? I don't know what it is, but it just like sounds amazing. Pisces, I'm so sorry. I just saw your message. 1111 friends. Well, I hear from the companies I want to work for next week. Well, Pisces chick here from the companies you want to work for next week. I'm getting a no for you, Pisces. The 10 of Wands is here. I'm hoping that because the way your question is worded, that you will hear from maybe one of them, but maybe not all of them. Tears of joy. Bria, I answered your question a few minutes back. I got a yes. I want to say it was Queen of Pentacles, but you'll have to go back and check. Sienna. You're welcome. Sienna, I'm getting a no, Knight of Swords. Maybe it has to do with your timing. Wing sauce wise, always get teriyaki. Yeah. Something like sweet, savory sounds good to me. But I also like buffalo too. But I think buffalo is like a little overdone. I wouldn't mind something like a parmesan or something like that. Bake wings in the oven. Either in one of those dishes with a lid that you can bake a turkey in, or in a pan with foil at the bottom. Oh, I see. I see. To cover it and tint it a little. Would you do wings? So basically you like it when wings have some type of covering. So for instance, you wouldn't bake them on a cookie sheet. The other thing is I'm not a super saucy kind of person. Like I like it when it's more like a dry rub, but my husband likes a teriyaki like you, Amy, or something like that. So I kind of have to cater to us both. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, I don't have a toaster oven. I just have a regular oven. I've been looking at some air fryer recipes, but I keep going back and forth on that because like I don't want to like when I cook the wings, I want them to all be ready at the same time for us both. I don't want to be like eating and then cooking and eating and cooking and like making multiple batches. So I guess that's where I'm like a little stuck right now, which is why I'm more so inclined towards the oven idea. You're welcome, Sienna. All right, guys, so it looks like that's time. Free list is now closed. We're going to go ahead and get started on our donations of the night. First up is IJ. Then we have Amy, then Sweeter. If you are on the donation list, you want to make sure you get your questions prepped. That would be great. Oh, wow. Did you really? Only flour. Yeah, I'm looking for more like a dry rub type of. Like, I don't mind if it's tossed in sauce, but I almost want it baked out of the wings, like when you cook them. It's like I don't mind a marinade, but I don't want to like prepare sauce and then like dip them in sauce and have really saucy cooked wings. Like I like it when there's a marinade first and then you bake it and then it's kind of baked in to the chicken. Yeah, like that's more my style. I just don't want a wet, saucy wing. I don't know. There's something about that that I just doesn't, I don't find it appetizing. And like, I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum. If that's like your style, that's great. I think that's amazing for you. It's just not what I personally like. I like a crispy, like tender, but more on like the dry side of sauce. Hey, send me all your recipes if you want. I'm down. Oh, that sounds cool. All right, BOGO 1 for IJ. I have been feeling that in my energy pretty heavy this week, especially as of today. What's been going on with that? What's been going on with that? Yeah, Amy, if she's wants to share it, I'll look into it. I can't guarantee I'm gonna make anything, right? Because I kind of like to take I'm a cook that likes to take inspiration, but then I kind of make it my own. But if she's comfortable sharing her recipe, that's fine with me. So lots of major arcana coming out straight away, IJ. I have the death card and the magician that I'm seeing right now. And I feel like there could be some big things going on in her life at this time. And because it's the death and the magician, it's things that she is doing for herself. Um, the magician is essentially where you're like, I have the power to make this change. It's up to me to fix this. And if I don't do it, no one else will. So this is on me. And it's basically empowering because it makes you feel like, okay, like I can achieve the things that I am setting out. And then because it's paired with a death card, it indicates like a transformation of sorts. So something big going on underneath the surface within her right now. Um, Potentially, that's why you've been feeling her energy because this is very heart chakra and solar plexus centered. So everything like in her chest area and like upper body. So I feel like because of that, and because maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like a merging of visions here or a merging of dreams. Maybe I noticed that I had said in a previous reading that you guys have like almost like a parallel life right now. Maybe things are starting to come to a head a little bit. And it's very possible that if you say to her, like, hey, these are my goals. This is what I want to achieve. What are you looking to do? You might be very surprised that they very much align, even though you guys have not actually talked to one another about these things that you're setting out to do. You might be very surprised at like her 1 to 5 year plan or her 5 to 10 year plan looks very closely related to yours. Like she says, I want to have kids in the next 3 years. And you're like, oh shit, me too. That's crazy. Because you guys are almost like, how we've talked about, you guys are like weaving the fabric of your future together energetically. So that inspiration is trickling down into your lives, and then you guys are making your own plans. So it's very possible that because your lives are so intertwined, you may be like somehow influencing the decisions that she's making. And like just imagine that you guys have levels that you're going through and like each level needs to be unlocked. It's very possible that you're feeling her energy because she just unlocked the next level to your life. Does that make sense? Like she's doing the things that she needs to do. She's like taking on that next stepping stone. And because you guys are making these plans and in other dimension, whatever that means, to the capacity that we understand what that could possibly be. I think because you're a part of it and she's making action steps towards it, it's almost like she's checking in with you and being like, hey, I've done it. Like, or hey, I'm doing it. Um, So yeah, you're mirroring each other definitely for sure. And I think that it's almost like now she's unlocked the next level. Now she's giving you the energetic key for you to unlock the next level. And you guys are like passing this key back and forth. And eventually you guys will use the key to enter the same room and be together officially. Um, so I'm seeing a lot of like independent work for her right now. And I think that could just be why, because it's almost like a check in, you know what I mean? Like an energetic check in, because you are like in her heart and you are a part of her life purpose. And so when she's doing these things to achieve those things, then it's like, okay, he needs to be aware of this. So, because you guys are doing this together. So that's kind of what I'm picking up. But let me know if you have any questions about that. Also, I am getting that she's getting these things done. The Nine of Cups means that things are coming very easy to her right now. So I don't feel like she has any blocks. We have the Eight of Wands, so the energy is completely open right now. She's not going to really run into any issues to achieve these things that she's setting out to do. So maybe for her, actually, I want to ask, what is she focusing on right now? What is she focusing on right now? Ooh, the Devil. All right. So she's in a place right now. Ooh, the Tower. Where she wants to be set free. She's tired of the things that bind her. The Death card actually represents the purging, the letting go. And the Devil talks about how she's actually facing potentially some things that she's been avoiding, maybe some things that are really hard to face, some things about herself, worst case scenarios and intrusive thoughts, and like the parts that she kind of keeps hidden to herself, and working on these things, kind of trying to shatter these false beliefs that aren't actually hers. They've just clung to her over time like static because of the energies and environment in which she has become who she is today. So she's kind of going, okay, got to focus on that. So I think she's going probably even deeper. Yeah. You said she's been doing deep healing therapy. So I feel like she's going even deeper. Like, I feel like she's going, okay, we handled surface level stuff. Let's go even further. I think more than anything, it's like a functional therapy. Like, she's trying to understand, if she feels this way, what is the origin of that? Like, if something triggers her, what is the origin of that? She's trying to understand how she functions. She's trying to understand how, okay, I get it. An emotion is like a symptom of something that has happened to me in the past. If I am triggered, there has to be something that happened that triggers me. Like, I'm not just going to get triggered for nothing. There had to have been something that happened to me that makes me feel triggered in this certain situation. What is the origin? What's the very first thing I can remember ever feeling this way? And then understanding that. And then being able to like label those things. She's able to say, okay, it no longer holds power over me anymore. Next, what's the next thing? And she's kind of going down the line. But I definitely feel like it's going further beneath the surface, because there are things that we're very consciously aware of, but then there's some things that we're subconsciously unaware of. It's like we are aware, but not consciously aware, not awake enough to understand it. And so I'm kind of hearing things a little bit like hypnotherapy or some type of therapy modality in which she can get into a very relaxed state and try to understand her subconscious feelings and her subconscious thoughts. So she is definitely going deeper for sure. But that's, I think, the major thing that's happening at this time in her life. And like I said, she's doing it. She's conquering. Like, the energy is clear. She's achieving these things. And it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like when you face your fears, sometimes it's not as scary as you thought that it would be. Like, once you actually get down to the bottom of it, once you talk it out, once you like say it out loud. Oh, I'm curious. There is a recurring woman that seems to come and go in my life. CM. What does she want? Wishful thinking. You guys, have you been in a relationship before? I'm kind of getting, because I asked the judgment card, I said, have they been like romantic before? And I'm getting a yes. So, would you agree with that? No. Holy shit. Okay, so I have this 7 of Cups. And so this card talks about wishful thinking. I did mention that before I asked that question. I think it's very possible that she's putting you in a fantasy place. So I'm tapping into the energy of where she's dreaming and daydreaming that you guys are in a relationship or in a romantic connection. I'm moving to the living room. Give me 1 second. That's crazy. What does she want? What does she want? She wants you. This has to be romantic. It has to be. This is kind of crazy. I just don't know people who like daydream like this about someone if it's not like a crush or like wanting someone romantically. Let me pull from my other deck real quick. I feel like I'm missing something here. Alvina, hi friend. Welcome in. Like, okay, so what I'm hearing is that she feels there's something that you can resolve for her, like a situation that you can satisfy or fulfill for her. I have soulmate in reverse. So she must be barking up the wrong tree with you, IJ. She thinks that there's something in you that can like fix something in her life, that could fulfill something that she feels is missing. She daydreams about like a proposal from you. I have the dreams come true card. But yeah, she's looking in the wrong place. Soulmate in reverse. You guys might be potentially karmic if that resonates. You know, you guys keep being put in the same circles or something. She's looking for you to fulfill something in her life. There's a lot of daydreaming that's happening here. You may be here to teach her something about herself. And when I say karmic, I don't necessarily mean you guys have to be in a relationship. I just mean she's drawn to you because of her karma. So she's looking for you to fix something of her life. She's looking for you to teach something. And for her, it's feeling romantically inclined. But sometimes people can't separate, like, okay, if you're attracted to women, for example, you might meet someone who is supposed to teach you something. You're drawn to them for a reason, but because they're the gender of which you're attracted, you might think that it's supposed to be romantic, even though it's not. Even though it's not at all supposed to be romantic, you're just supposed to learn something from that person, and it makes it hard because it clouds your judgment. it makes you think like, oh, we're supposed to be together. And it's like, no. And then you're like, why do I desire this person? Because they're supposed to teach you something. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're supposed to be together. It just means that, they're supposed to teach you something about your karma, or like help serve a lesson, or give you something to like balance your karma with, right? So I think for her, when I say barking up the wrong tree, I just mean she's looking at you in the wrong way. She's not supposed to be considering this a romantic connection. Soulmate was in reverse. So it's indicating to me that because she's attracted to you, and like, I don't know, like maybe I don't know what this is. It's almost making me feel like she's looking to you as like something more, like, oh, we're supposed to be together, or oh, we're supposed to have this thing. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case. And a lot of times that happens, we get confused. The lines get blurred because if we're attracted to the person that's supposed to teach us something, we automatically think, oh, like we have this deep connection, we're supposed to be together. It's like, no, that's not always going to be the case. And sometimes you, for instance, IJ, might not even be attracted to her in that way. So it's like, I think there's a lot of fantasizing going on. I think instead of looking for the reason as to why she's feeling these feelings and wanting you to fulfill something in her life, instead of digging deeper to understand why she's so drawn to you, she's trying to understand like you in a romantic way. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And the thing is that sometimes we are, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh my god, spirit, bring it back. What was I gonna say? It literally was right there. I don't know, maybe it'll come back. So that makes sense. Yeah, I agree she's attractive, but she doesn't do for me what Nat does. So yeah, I mean, oh, I know what I was gonna say. Thank you, spirit. So for instance, I think that if you are like, oh, she keeps making an appearance of my life, but she's not really doing anything for me, but for some reason she keeps coming around, it may not be anything for you, IJ. It may just be something for her, because I fully believe, this is something I've been saying for like 15 years, is that we sometimes aren't there for the lesson for ourselves. We're there to be the lesson for someone else. So you just might be the lesson for her. Maybe it really doesn't affect you at all. She's not really doing anything for you. Her presence or lack thereof literally doesn't make a difference in your life, but clearly she's feeling a connection to you in some way and finding ways to come around. Whether they're conscious or unconscious, she's coming around. You said she keeps making appearances. So you just may be the lesson in her life. Yeah, sure. What can I answer for you? Let me know. Oh, Luna, I'm going to donate additionally, make mine in depth. Okay, hold on. All right. Oh, you're doing a BOGO instead? All right, Amy, I got you down for a BOGO now. IJ, I have your donation. You're good. Okay, similar question, but this is for a person that tends to run hot and cold in communication style. Similarly pops back up recently. Danny E. She just moved to London for her work, travels a lot with her kids. Okay, so let's go back to the original question. What is Danny E's... No. What does Danny E actually want from IJ? What does Danny E actually want from IJ? All right, Danny E. Danny E. Not a bad person. Makes bad choices. This person's very self-centered, focused on themselves, focused on what they want. Comes around when she wants the attention is what I'm hearing. Six of Wands is like basically like flatter me, compliment me, entertain me, make me feel good, me. And I am seeing here the stagnancy that your connection has held. Basically, I feel like this is a message from spirit that there's nothing to really grow for you and this person. Like this person's a mindset of their own, you know, and there's nothing bad with having like a self-centered mindset. You just can't connect with someone like that. You can't have a relationship or something sustainable with someone who's like that, at least when they're in that mentality. Let her go off and do her thing. Let her live her life. I would just know there's the hangman here. Like you guys have hit a ceiling along this trajectory that you're not going to break through unless something changes, and that would require a shift in mentality for her. I do see here that she likes reuniting with you. She likes reconnecting with you, Six of Cups. It does make her feel great, but I see that she's more focused on like maybe her career, or like you said, she travels, so maybe like that's her main focus, getting her money and being able to go do what she wants whenever she wants, wherever she wants. She doesn't want any blocks in her life. So I think really when she comes to you, it's just to like get off and like, and not necessarily in like that kind of way, maybe, but I feel more it's like to give her like some kind of boost of serotonin, potentially a little flirting, potentially like entertainment, something that makes her feel good, boosts her ego, makes her feel more confident. And then I see her just walking away immediately after that with the Eight of Cups. This person likes to seize every single opportunity that is available to her. So I think that like if something, for example, she tried to start a relationship, and we're not going to talk about you, but let's say she tried to establish a relationship in London, and then like she got a job offer in Japan, she would cut that relationship off and go to Japan. Like, I don't think that she puts down roots. I don't think that she's the type of person that wants to be in one place for a long time. I think that she kind of likes to float with like how she's feeling in that moment and then take each day by day, which bless her, couldn't be me. I need stability. I need to know like my day is going to be like how it's going to be. I couldn't do it, but the very fabulous life that she must be living, that's amazing. Like you said, not a bad person. I'm telling you, I'm not getting a bad person. I'm just getting bad choices when it comes to relationships and potentially when it comes to you. I split the deck and I have the time apart card. So this person's going to come and go. I also have the word memento, which typically could mean like a trinket, something of sentimental value or like a souvenir, but I'm reading it as a moment. Like, I'm here for the moment. I'm only here for the moment, and that's what it's going to be. So, yeah. She also has the freedom card. So you have time apart saying that she needs space, and then you have freedom stating that she needs space, and memento, she's here for the moment. So I think that she might try to rekindle things every once in a while with you, IJ. And basically, you'd have to set that boundary with her. You would have to say, like, this works for me or this doesn't work for me. She definitely has been traveling in different countries for the last 6 months, like 6 months last year. Yeah, it does not surprise me. She's here for the moment. She's gone for the next. Like, can't tie this girl down. So I really think that IJ, the communication you get from her is going to be impulsive. It's going to be fleeting. It's just like, grab onto it while you have it, and just know that you have to set the limits in this connection. When she does come back around, if it's not working for you, or if you're like involved, if you're in a relationship or something, then just. And the thing is that she's the type of person that's not going to get super butthurt either. Like, if you're like, oh, hey, like, I'm in a relationship now, like, can't really talk to you. She can be like, all right, cool. Like, I don't really think she gets that bothered about that kind of stuff. She lives a fabulous life. So that's cool for her. All right, IJ, hopefully that satisfies your questions. Amy, you are next for your BOGO friend. He said it's definitely her, a January Aquarius. Yeah, she's floating like air. You're welcome, IJ. Thank you for your donations tonight. Oh my goodness. How have my coworkers at work feel and think towards me today? There's one female coworker in particular. She's like an older woman, not a grandma, but like an older mom age. I can't get a clear read on her. Okay. Yeah, you guys are on the same level. Like, she's not your superior in any way, right? You guys are like literally coworkers. So I'm getting, well, actually, hold on. Let me ask, because I kind of want to get a little more clarity. Hey, little whippersnapper, what are you doing back there? You're so cute. Is she higher up than Amy? Is she higher up than Amy? He's so cute. He was just like hiding, and I just found him randomly. Is she above Amy in like rank? Is she above Amy in rank? See the Emperor. That's funny. I think the Emperor came out again. I think that she is not. At the very least, it would be like a lead, like you said. But I think you guys are on the same level, actually. The only thing is the career trajectory. So like she's been in this longer, maybe even like at this place of work longer than you, and so she feels like, people have been doing something for a long time, they kind of feel like they pull rank or something, even if they're not really in a position of superiority. They still feel like, oh, like I can tell this person what to do or whatever. So I think that's kind of probably what it is. I think that if you essentially are having issues with this person, you feel like this person's like trying to tell you what to do. I think you can either go to your direct supervisor and be like, hey, not really sure what to think of this person. Is she like technically my coworker, or does she have some type of like rank at this school? Is she a lead? Is she a manager? Because I feel like this person's trying to tell me like what to do, and I don't really know where she fits in terms of like, is that appropriate? Is that her position to tell me what to do? And basically just try to suss out information. And then I think that if you find out like, no, she's literally like on your level, I think that you can basically tell her, thank you, but if I need your help, I'll ask. Like, I think you need to assert your authority. It's very clear that you're younger, and sometimes older women are jealous of younger women. Sometimes older women think they can boss younger kids around because they did their dues. So now you can, And so I kind of feel like that's kind of how it is with this woman. I'm not necessarily saying that she's asking you to do things that you're not supposed to be doing or putting you in a compromising position, but I just think that she might be getting a little like drunk with power a little bit. If it's definitely not her place to do that, she needs to be put into her place. So I think that, I guess what I worry about is if she's not a lead or a manager and you like put her in her place, then I don't want that to cause issues for you. So I think you need to find out first, like, what exactly is her title. But then I think that once you find out, oh no, she's on my level, like we do the same exact thing, then I think you need to say, thank you. I know you're trying to help, but if I need your help, I will ask you for it. That is not rude. That is not unprofessional. That is objectively professional. And I think that she needs to hear that, because otherwise she's going to keep doing these things that she's doing. I think you guys are on the same level. Honestly, Amy, I don't think she has a higher title or anything. I see you both here as the Queen of Wands. It's not like she's a king and you're a queen, or she's a queen and you're a knight. Like, I'm seeing you guys are both queens. You guys are both on the same level. So you said she's not a bad worker. I'll give her props. I just don't like how she'll give me instructions at a time, or instead of helping me out, she'll just tell me what to do instead of go do it herself. Like today, she saw one of my kids who's on the spectrum running around, and she's like, you guys just let him run around. And I'm like, not really. Me and my site director try our best, but he literally doesn't listen. So yeah, so she's coming across clearly judgmental. She's coming through like kind of side eye at you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not how I would run things, but do you, I guess. Like, it's definitely coming with a level of shade. And I think that you are sensing it. You know, you're not, it's not like it's your intuition is off. That is what she's doing. But I think it's more so the person that she is. So Amy, I don't want you to take this personally. Like, I'm pulling cards for how does she view you or think of you. And I'm not getting that this is about you. This isn't about you specifically, okay? Let's take a look at your other coworkers. I think she would do this to anyone. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that's a lot. All right, how do her other coworkers view her? All right, you're coming through as the Queen of Wands. Good business sense, good work ethic, confident, mature, helpful, well-liked, kind, generous. You give off a sense of innocence, but like I said, maturity. Originality, you bring originality to the table, to your work life. On a personal level, they feel like you'd be a very like loyal friend. You seem to bite your tongue a lot at work is what I'm getting. I think that people have witnessed you be in situations where they probably would have said something, but you didn't. You just kind of let it go. So they feel like there are times where you hold back, but they respect that at the same time. They feel like you fit in well. We have the Hierophant here. So pretty much every one of your coworkers feels like they can get along with you and that you guys have something in common or some type of common ground. They feel that you're committed to this job, that you have a joy in the job that you do and the education that you provide. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. Let me know what your second question is. Hey, Onyx, welcome in. I'm not doing free list questions right now. All free list options are closed for the evening. You're more than welcome to donate. You're a multitasker at work. You think she can see that. You bit your tongue many times, but you're like, let me not cause problems. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to put a last call on the screen for donations. It looks like it's going to be a slower night this evening, which is totally fine with me. Tomorrow night, I don't know if I'm going to be back on a live or if I'm doing offline. I do have a long day ahead of me. So if I were to guess now, I would say offline readings, but I think I'm going to add in spicy options for offline readings if I do that. So if you don't see me here live tomorrow night, check my Instagram stories if you're wanting a reading with me, because I'll have some offline options going. And if you see me, then you see me. If not, then I'll see you Sunday. Yeah, Amy, that's why the word education was coming through, because you said you legit teach them. So that's why education was coming through, that they're seeing that effort. How have your kids at work felt and viewed towards you recently? So we all know how the moon phases can affect like our life, our personal, individual like moods and emotions and things like that. The moon is a reflection of those emotions, and I feel like because of the phase of the moon right now, we're all in this place of kind of typically losing energy. We're kind of working our way down towards like lowered momentum. So I think it's very possible that the threshold of what your kids can handle or tolerate is just lower this week. And we all know crazy shit happens at the full moon. With the full moon's there, everyone's acting crazy. But I feel like the phases also kind of reflect like our energy too. So if the moon has a heavy emphasis on our emotions and how we feel day to day, and it's waning, that it indicates that we're like losing brightness, we're losing momentum. So collectively, I feel like it could just be that the threshold of what they can handle is being lowered. So you could tell them something on a waxing phase and they can handle that, and they're like, okay, fine. But like you tell them on a waning phase and they're probably going to be like, I don't want to, and then just like freak out. So it just indicates like where they are. So I just want you to keep that kind of stuff in mind. I do see with the Three of Swords that these kids are just going through it. There could be stuff going on outside of school that you're unaware of, but I feel like the Three of Swords is basically like everything is the end of the world to these kids. The Three of Swords talks about like literally you feel like your world is ending. And so I think that they're just not able to handle these feelings that they're feeling, and it's making it very, very hard for you. And if you think about it, if these waning phases are affecting them, they're also affecting you. So the threshold of what you can tolerate as well is also decreasing. And so you might be witnessing their tantrums and they're getting upset as like a higher issue, or like maybe it feels more overwhelming than what it might on a waxing phase. So just keeping in mind those feelings that we have, it is okay. But I think that they just might be in this like collective, I'm going to act crazy because I can't handle what's going on. Literally, your kids have said what I said. I don't want to do it. That's what I'm saying. How do they feel towards Amy? How do they feel towards Amy? You guys are working out of a hard phase, I feel, right now. We have the Six of Swords. This indicates like the calm after the storm. So the hard part is over. I do remember telling you at one point that you guys are working towards, again, you're going to have some off days, but you're working towards like a better, more consistent classroom environment where things aren't feeling as crazy. But again, you're going to still have some off days. But I do see that like generally this issue you recently had is coming to a close. This is the storm, and you are going to experience the calm after it. So either they're finding some kind of safety in you, or maybe a new day and they're just feeling better. But let's just see how the weekend goes. And when you come back on Monday, things might feel a little more fresh. Of course, Amy, because kids view love, they have different love languages, I feel kids do. They playing with them is a big, big, big one. And actually, oh, my heart, my auntie heart. I used to go over and play with my nephew quite a bit. I got into like this whole, I gotta work, 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 and like I haven't been over as often. Like when I do, I'm stopping by, I'm saying, hey, how are you? And having a conversation and talking to my sister for a little bit, and then I leave. And in my mind, I visited, but my nephew doesn't view that. Like he doesn't view me coming over as like spending time with him. You know what I mean? And I do have a point to this. So anyways, I went to the beach. We spent a whole week together in the same house. And it was just me and him. And I was like, hey, buddy. I was like, what are you doing? And he's telling me he's playing video games or whatever. And I was like, oh, I was like, okay. And then I had said something and I was like, do you remember like whenever, or I think I was leaving. I was like walking around. I was like, all right, bye. And he's like, bye. And I was like, do you remember when you used to say to me, 5 more minutes, auntie, just 5 more minutes, please hang out for 5 more minutes? And he said, yeah, I remember when I loved you, I did that. And I was like, when you loved me? And he was like, yeah, and I don't anymore. Savage. I was like, you don't love me anymore? And he was like, no, I mean, I do, but I just don't ever see you anymore. And I was like, okay, it's all making sense. I said, so you'll love me again if I come over and play with you and hang out and stuff? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So like that was his way of saying you used to dedicate more time to playing with me. And that is a love language for kids. So savage, right? I was like, you did not. So then he was like, no, I do love you, but I just don't see you anymore. You don't play with me anymore. That is where it all clicked for me. So I'm gonna definitely be making more effort to like go hang out with him. And at this point, it's probably just gonna be playing video games all the time, but that's fine with me. But like he like showed me that I need to be more intentional with spending time with him, and I can't let life get in the way because like I'm not giving to him in his love language way. And that's how kids feel cared for. And such a learning experience. Exactly. And like I was the auntie that when he was born, I was over my sister's house every single week. Like without fail, I was his daycare provider for a little while. My sister would have him over my apartment a couple times a week. I'd go over when he was a tot. I moved in to be like a minute down the street from him. I've lived in the house for 2.5 years. We live in the same neighborhood for the last couple of years. And like I came here to be closer to him, to be able to like pop in and say hi. But somewhere along the lines, he's getting older and he like his interests have changed, and I don't feel like he's as clingy to me anymore. He's not like, oh my God, stay, hang out, 5 more minutes, auntie, 5 more minutes. And I kind of was like, okay, he's maturing. Like he doesn't want to spend time with me the way he used to, and that's fine. He's getting older. But at the same time, he's like, you're not playing with me. You're not spending time with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that's what you wanted, but it's really not. And so I realized that what he needs is dedicated individual time with me. So that's the plan. We will be doing that. But Amy, because you're spending time with these kids, you are giving them that attention. They are feeling safe with you. And that is what they need. So you know how you were kind of like being like, oh, they still like me even though I'm stern with them. Another language, love language for kids is like actually setting rules and setting boundaries. They need to feel that you care about them enough to put them in their place. So there's a lot there with that, but that's my full circle story, is that it's the dedication that you're putting into them that they really, really appreciate. And they're still going to like you no matter what. Even if you have to be stern, even if you have to be strict, it's like that's their language of they're being strict with me, so that must mean that they care, aka that must mean that they love me, you know. But yeah, he really put me in my place with that. He definitely is savage, but that was needed to break the ice. Great communication. You didn't overreact. You asked him. He told you. You asked him by clarifying, or to clarify by elaborating, and he did. That's a safe space. Oh, thank you, sweeter. I really appreciate that. If I'm like a big advocate for anything with my nephew or like any kids in my life, is like being able to tell me, you know, what you think or how you feel without feeling like it hurt. I was like, oh God. But I know he didn't mean like he didn't love me. He just meant like you don't spend time. And like I get it, and I get it. I understand it. But I'm not gonna let him feel like he's not safe enough to be completely honest with me. And that is going to change things, you know? And like I didn't think I was doing anything wrong because I'm over here like I see him all the time. What do you mean? Like I'm always over their house. Um, and it just like was very clear to me that he's like, that's not the way that I need to connect with you. And so like that really helped. True, true. I try to remind myself when they don't want to do something sometimes. You just got to do. The world spins and life still goes on. This, you got to try and keep going. Yeah, for sure. Try to tell my kids, sooner you do something, the quicker you can get it over with. Like ripping a Band-Aid. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, kids also have to face those hard truths too, you know. But yeah, so Amy, I want you to know that like your dedication is noticed by your kids. Your like willingness to kind of put them in their place and set rules and set boundaries and things like that. Jiraki, my free list is closed for the night, so no, you would not get a free yes no tonight. You can try again next time I'm live if you want. Overall, Amy, though, you're not seen negatively. I don't know if you're worried about being seen in a negative light by your kids, but I'm getting that you are a positive light for them. You are sunshine for them. Even if they don't want to do all the things, like you still are a positive, safe space for them. You're like the sun, because I have the sun card here. This indicates that they do have a lot of fun with you and they enjoy your company. I do worry about being seen in a negative light just because some kids do fight and argue with me. It's okay. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. You just have to like think about the impact that you're making as a whole and not worry too much about the individual situations. And they hurt. Like they're going to sting. They're going to stay with you. And especially like if you know you're a sensitive girl. These things are going to stay with you for the rest of your life. But um overall as a whole, you know that you're doing right by them. So you have to just like take that. Burns hard. It does. Kids are fucking ruthless, bro. But my thing is that like for instance, my relationship with my nephew and even my nieces, you know, Brendan's nieces, I know that they're gonna always know me as like a ever present person in their life. You know, they're gonna know me to never miss any kind of holiday, any kind of birthday. Um, like be there for them, do things for them. You know, like they know me. They're gonna grow up knowing me. There's never. I am the auntie. Okay, my nephew has multiple aunties and uncles. Like, my sister's husband has like 9 siblings. And my sister has 4 siblings. So, he has lots of aunts and uncles, but I am auntie. I am the only one that goes by that name. But that's because I do make an effort. So that's why it hurts even more when what happened, because I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm the auntie. Like, I'm the one that like is always here and always making sure I'm present. But, it was a message that I needed to hear, that I needed to make more of an effort with him. And that's fine with me. There's nothing wrong with that. I would love to spend more time with him. Older kids are low-key scary, but thank you, Luna. You're welcome, Amy. You've got this, girl. You've got this. Sweeter, did you want to drop your question? Yes, Luna, the superior auntie. Betrayal. I know. But that's the kind of relationship I have with him. Like, that's the kind of relationship I want to have with my nieces and nephews and like my children one day. I want them to feel safe to ask me questions or tell me something, because I never had that, when I was younger. I never had that. I always felt like I was walking on eggshells for the most part. I never felt like I could be actually honest with any of my adult, like, parental figures. So, breaking cycles, even though they hurt. I'm gonna go do laundry. Thank you again. You're welcome, Amy. I hope you enjoyed your readings tonight. Can we tap into the energy to see what great things are coming towards my way for this new and upcoming week? Oh, I love that. My family is being toxic. I don't understand what's going on. I'm getting no help. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's not think about your family right now with your reading. I'm just going to channel positivity. Blackmailing you. Ugh, that's awful. I'm sorry. All right, so sweeter. I have the Five of Earth, the Nine of Fire, and the Renewal card, which I feel like what this is telling me is I think renewal is judgment in the tarot. So I'm kind of getting like there's a fear that you have. It could even be like financial help that is required, but you feel isolated. Oh, you said that's what you said. You said they're supposed to be helping you financially. So the Five of Earth literally is fear surrounding money and the inability to lean on other people. Whether that's through your own pride or like legitimately you just can't ask for help because you don't have the help that you need. Obviously, with your situation, it's the other way. It's the second part, the latter, because you just can't rely on these people to help you. So you feel that isolation. That is being acknowledged here. The Nine of Fire indicates that you've been through a lot. You've been battle scarred and bruised. Of course, that's metaphorically, but maybe other ways. And I feel like you've really been through the ringer. Like the Nine of Wands kind of talks about your resilience and your ability to persevere even through like the hardships that you faced and that you have experienced. And the Nine of Fire is asking you again this week, please don't give up, protect that which you have created. Believe in yourself, even if you can't rely on other people. We also have the Renewal card. So this is a really great week to review and evaluate what your next steps can be. So you're very, very strong, and you're probably in this position where you feel like you need to rely on other people and you need other people's help. But you've been proven time and time again that you cannot trust these people, that you cannot rely on them, and that they may be the reason why you can't get out of this quicksand. And so you have to start finding other ways in which that maybe you have to pull yourself out of this, which is really sometimes difficult place, because if you're like, if I could do that, then I wouldn't be relying on these other people. But it almost seems like you're better off by yourself than you are with these other ones around. So even if it's not something you can implement right away, try to start thinking of a way out of this situation and pulling yourself out of it, because you have survived probably the hardest part of it all. And getting yourself away from that is probably going to be the best situation. So I feel like Spirit is saying just be open to new ideas and inspirations. Ask, the universe or your spiritual team to send you information, to send you signs. This could come up as like an ad on Facebook or TikTok, or it could be a commercial on TV, or it could be a friend mentioning something in front of you. You never know when this insight and inspiration is going to come through for you, but you have to ask. So ask God, ask source, ask like whatever you believe in that is a higher power to you that can help you with these things. But you first have to ask and just know and just be open to receive. Just say, I'm open to receive. Like I'm open for other ideas and other inspiration or other help. I've been going through everyone in my county and also other counties. No one's been able to help me. I wish that I had more like specified advice for you, but I feel like that's out of my scope of knowledge or understanding. But I think the message that I'm saying for this week is to just like try to be open to new insight, new inspiration, new ideas. Let's see, what else am I getting? The King of Wands indicates like being decisive. I think you feeling like, and again, I don't know your particular situation, so I don't want you to think that I am not understanding the severity of the situation that you're going through individually. But I also feel like Spirit's messages are coming through for a reason. So I just like want you to hear me. They are saying that you need to be the one to take charge. Like they're saying, stop relying on other people. Do something yourself. Like make something happen yourself. And again, you don't have to implement this immediately. This doesn't have to be something that you just get up and do tomorrow. It's just saying like, think about ways in which you can decide. You can be the one in charge, because so long as you are at liberty of other people, or like under someone else's thumb, or asking for help from other people or other places, you're never going to feel confident. You're never going to feel like you can do what you need to do. You're always going to feel like you're under someone else's command or someone else's power, because you're relying on someone else. And I feel like Spirit's saying the power is within yourself. You are the empress in this situation. So you said health-wise you haven't, because of your seizures and mini strokes. Have you, okay, you probably have already done this, but have you looked into unemployment? I actually have a medical condition. It's not as bad as yours. I mean, in the way that it affects my daily life, it is. But I personally have like my own set of disabilities, basically, myself. And it does affect me on a daily basis. But with that being said, I was like, okay, a typical 9 to 5 is not going to work for me. What can I do? And I found tarot. I found a way to do this for a living. And I've been doing this like professionally for 5 years. And it's been my sole income for 2.5. So sometimes you need to go to the doctor. You have to get like basically like a medical disability, but I think that you could make that work if you haven't already tried. They don't want you to work right now either, but they're not helping. They claim funding is low. Social Security. Okay. That makes sense. I would just think, you don't think you're meant to work either. You're supposed to do something deeper. I think looking into spiritual work, something that doesn't require you to fork out a lot of money up front. I will say I started doing this on a HP computer that like took literally like 20 minutes just to like load, and it was slow as heck. I was working with like a really cheap like $20 webcam. At this point, my career is off camera, but it was like the big thing to do was to be on camera. So I got like this cheap ass camera, and I got like 2 tarot decks, and that's basically what I lived on. My husband pretty much has supported most of my tarot business, but it doesn't require like a lot of startup. But you could do something like this. You could look into runes. You could be like a rune reader, or you could just be a channeler, or you could be a medium, or you could do readings like I do. You could work off of charms. Like there's so many different things. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. But my thing is I wanted to start a business where I didn't have a lot of startup costs. That was like the main thing. So I started on this really janky computer, this really janky camera with only a couple decks to my name. And over time, I was building money from it. And, some days it's $50. Some days it's almost $300. It just really depends on like the need and the demand for people to want readings. But if there's something you can find, even if it's not in the spiritual space, if it's somewhere else that doesn't require schooling and doesn't require a lot of startup costs, it may be something to consider. And I, create my own schedule, and I have my own health issues. I'll just be transparent with you. I have a thyroid disorder called Hashimoto's, and it's basically an autoimmune disease. And I also have an inflammatory condition where I have to be very careful about like the foods that I consume and what I eat, because I can get inflamed really easily. And that causes a whole bunch of other issues that are like secondary underlying. So I can't stand, I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I was a manager at a salon right out of school because I was so good at it, but I needed to be on my feet for the majority of my day all day long, and I just couldn't physically handle that. I don't know how I'm going to, like, most days are good if my health is good, but if my health isn't good, there's a lot of days where I have flare-ups, and I can guarantee at least 2 to 3 days out of the month I'm gonna have a flare-up. And I can be reliable at a place of work. I can push through it, but that's neglecting my own individual needs. So if there's something that you can do to kind of pull yourself out of it, even if it's temporarily, if you don't want to be a tarot reader forever, that is perfectly fine, girl. But I'm just saying, maybe it could be something that kind of helps support you right now. That's what I mean when I say Spirit saying just be open to ideas and inspiration. Like, look into it. It doesn't hurt to look into this kind of stuff. You said you don't think you're meant to. Oh, wait, I already read that. I also have autoimmune. They found in my MRI. The doctors don't know what it is. It's tough. And like, obviously, I don't have seizures and mini strokes, and I don't know, how often that stuff happens to you, but that sounds terrible. And I'm really sorry that you go through that. You really honestly should be on disability, and you should be getting unemployment, in my personal opinion. But apply for that SSI. Get this paperwork going and kind of give yourself a plan B and a plan C, because there's situations where if this SSI paperwork, what if it takes 3 months to process? You know what I mean? You're just going to be stuck in this situation. So again, I don't have the answers to it all, and I am really sorry you're going through it, but to some capacity, I feel like I can relate. I'm so grateful for my husband because he supplements my income whenever I feel like I can't do things. But I would say for the last year, maybe a little bit longer, we've been splitting bills right down the middle. And, I just paid for our whole beach trip all by myself. And I paid off some credit cards, some joint credit cards and some individual credit cards for us. And we just live below our means right now, even though we bring in a decent income. We also live in one of the most expensive states in the United States. So hopefully at some point moving out of this place would be good. But I can only work 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day before I'm completely exhausted. And so like, this is the perfect career for me. I love it. I enjoy it. I feel like I'm really good at it, and it pays me, and it pays pretty well. I mean, it's decent, I should say. It's the same paycheck I would make somewhere else, but I don't work as long. You said you can't keep doing this by yourself. It's causing you to get sick. It's stressful, and I'm sure higher cortisol levels for you is not easy. You know what I mean? You're moving from hotel to hotel while going through this case. Is there, I don't mean to get too nosy, and if I'm overstepping, let me know, but is there any kind of payout with the DV case if it goes in your favor? Because it's clearly, this is probably like the origin of why you're having all these health issues in the first place. New Jersey's expensive. I feel like Northeast is crazy expensive. I looked at a map, and I think they said like Virginia, because that's where I'm at. They said it's like the 5th highest, most expensive place to live. I don't know if that's because we're in a Commonwealth or what. Oh, it's separate. Okay. No. I don't mean it's the same. I just mean like your health issues. Like, we don't realize how much trauma is stored in our bodies and will manifest in other ways. So I'm saying that, this situation could exacerbate that, or it could be like the part of where the trauma is manifesting itself is through these seizures and strokes, especially if it's not something that you had before that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. But as far as this week, sweeter, I feel like, one of the really good things that's going to happen for you is you're going to be getting inspiration. Please, 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 to be open to all different kind of ideas. Sweeter, there's also, I don't know, maybe Maybe this is too far-fetched for you, but I do know that a lot of like social media influencers, they make really good money. It's not like startup immediately you're making bank, but people might resonate with your story, and it might build a lot of traction if it's something you want to share. And maybe you could just start off talking about your health issues for now. Maybe you could find things that might help you, and you could sell those items online with an affiliate link or through a TikTok shop. um, there's even something called UGC where you don't even have to be on camera. And basically, companies will send you products to try, and you just create like videos and like pictures and things like that. And like you can leave reviews for companies for payout or free items. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do to try to generate an income for yourself and create like an outlet for yourself that might be healing. You said, yeah, the doctors and them said it came from that, and also me being harassed and stalked and targeted. I'm sorry. Different case when it comes to suing him. Okay, that makes sense. But you agree with me. Okay. Um so yeah, I mean, just be open. Like, I don't know if you've done this or not. I definitely think you should be getting paid by the state. Like, in my personal opinion, you should be getting a payout, like 100%. You clearly have a disability, and it's not conducive for you to be working right now. You should be getting a paycheck for that. You said UGC sounds great. I wanted to do empathetic listener. I heard it's a great job as well. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know they had something like that. Or at least like on a pay basis. I thought maybe it was like more like a volunteer basis. You can't even get around to go get testing done. That's awful. Yeah, you look up UGC. It's something that I've considered starting. I have to put my full force effort into my spiritual business, but UGC is kind of there. It was something I wanted to start when it was early before it got completely saturated, and I probably already missed the mark on that. But I feel more called to my spiritual business, so I have to lean more into that over anything else. But yeah, I've got a UGC website. I have a UGC TikTok. I have a UGC email. I mean, the situation's already started. It's just a part of me getting the ball rolling. But some advice would be look up YouTube videos on UGC and how to start it up. And look on Canva, you can make a free website. There's a lot of information out there. If you also like have a Twitter/X account, or if you create one, you can follow a lot of UGC content creators that usually will basically let you know if they're hiring, and you could always submit your stuff. So there's a lot of different things you can do. You just have to find what's right for you. But the thing with UGC is it can be flexible. It can be whenever you feel like doing it. You can give like a deadline. You can say, okay, I'll have it to you in a week. And then you have an entire week to get that one project done. And with a spiritual business, it's like you make your own hours and stuff. So I hope this is giving you some inspiration. I hope that you think throughout the week of things that you can do. I hope you get that application sent in. Hopefully it's something you'll be able to submit or get started at some point. You found out about it 2 weeks ago. Well, there you go. Maybe this is a sign, because people don't talk about UGC very often. It's not like a thing that's like widely known. So I think maybe I'm here to just give you another sign that maybe this is a route you should head down. And the great thing about UGC is that you don't have to have a big following to make money. You could literally have 50 followers and you can still make money because you're here to be product placement and testimonial for people. And then what's great is they let you keep the product. So you can try a bunch of things, figure out your niche. You know, do you want it to be medical equipment? Do you want it to be self-care? Do you want it to be stuff for your house or your animals or makeup? Like, you can basically figure out your niche category and then you just get all this free product. If I wasn't a licensed cosmetologist and didn't already have that background, I probably would do things for around my house because I would love to get some free stuff to fill my house. My house is like the forgotten one, and I feel like it needs more than it has. So just to be able to have like free product, that would be kind of cool. You said, yes, it is. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You have an appointment October 8th. Okay, that's coming up. That's just around the corner. I think things are going to work out for you. I really do. And in the meantime, I'm here and we can always talk, okay? You're very welcome. All right, have a good night. Oh yeah, you're of course. Like I can empathize with you, and I, you know, everyone's story is different, so I'm not going to sit here and like tell you that I know what you're going through, but I can empathize with it, and in good big part I do get it. I do understand. So I want you to feel inspired, and I want you to feel like there's things that's attainable for you that you can do. So look more into that stuff. Look up TikToks. Look up like YouTube videos. Get all of the free information that you possibly can get. And UGC, you know why it's so great? Is because UGC, you don't need any money to start up. You don't need any college degree. You don't need anything. You literally just need to be you, authentically you, and willing to put yourself out there. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. All right, sweeter, you have a great night, and I'll see you next time, okay? All right, bye.